Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what?
I don't know. I just my car's parked outside. You know, it's sitting there. It's road trip ready. It's not the heaping pile that Ty Dillon's car is from this past weekend.
There's
Shout
no
out.
out of control Californian about to come sideswipe you, hopefully.
Supposedly Hendricks said that that was driver error. That incident. So
Did they outright say that? Because I saw that they said
that was today.
there's no signs of brake failure. Damn.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what that implies. So
I don't know.
someone was doing something with brakes. Someone was messing with something.
Cue the gif of the guy from Airplane where he's like plugging it, the lights back in, and he's like, somebody doing that with his brakes before the race.
That was crazy. That was a crazy weekend. Davey had a crazy weekend.
I did.
Happy
We had a
belated birthday to Tommy.
happy belated birthday to our one and only
Hey.
Tommy Bordeaux. He celebrated his birthday this weekend with a few of us. We went up to Salisbury, North Carolina. Had ourselves a good time. Went to GoPro. Actually, I went and saw Junior Motorsports' shop
Oh.
this weekend
Oh, nice.
for the first time. That is a nice race shop. That is a professional, nice race shop. And so that I have to say, so hold on, wait, someone, who is Richard Petty's son?
Yeah. Okay.
What?
What the does Kyle Petty have to do with this?
Hey,
God
there it is.
bless it. I don't
Sorry,
know if
I thought you were tiptoeing around that, but yeah.
No, I was gonna do it. No one said his name.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's two.
Might as well group them together, right?
Yeah, that makes it so much easier.
You're goddamn right it does.
Oh, God.
I don't know if you guys caught it when you were listening back last week, but when you did say that, I put in the Leclerc scream.
Oh my God.
Wait, I didn't actually. This is the one I have actually done really good about listening to our episodes, and last week was the first one that I only played for like the cold open, and I was like, all right, hold on, just kind of moved on. That's insane.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go back and re-listen.
I inserted it twice. The first time when we were talking about it, and then when you threw one of those in. I was kind of hoping that would be our running joke. So people that are listening back to this, they'll know if it's our running joke.
We need like
down.
soundboards.
We do.
Soundboard.
Yeah, I need to download a soundboard.
I'd be down for a soundboard. We got to make it as morning radio showy as possible.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I want to have like a bell or something. Or
we
like a
should.
horn.
We should just do this show live. I think live TV does everything. Is better for everyone, and
That'll be easy.
Yeah.
You say
I
that.
still
I mean, I guess the hardest part would actually be to get you guys on here on time. But maybe being live would give you a little extra incentive.
It was my fault this week, by the way.
I mean,
It's
it's not
usually
your
mine.
fault. It's no one's fault. It's just
Usually mine.
It's just an
I delayed it,
observation.
so it technically is still my fault. I'll take that. Oh yeah.
Pretty sure Matt still would have been asleep.
Yeah, more than likely. So
That's a good point. Real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into this show because we got some stuff to talk about, and we've had a bad habit the last month of going way too long. So let's
rambling on.
Hey, that's my fault.
yeah, it makes good content though.
Yeah, it does.
Joe, you are a rambler.
I am a rambler. I'm a rambling man.
Play the
welcome
rambler.
back to the Fake Racers podcast, folks. I'm Joe. That's Davey.
I'm Davey. I was waiting for you to say it.
And down there is Matthew.
That's Matthew. Yep.
Matthew.
All right. Okay.
I could see it in your eyes that you wanted to say your name, but you were holding to the bit, and I appreciate that, Matt. I appreciate that.
It's my comedic timing. What can I say?
Back again with you for another podcast episode. That turn of phrase is awful. Anyways, but I'm going to keep doing it in all those diecast reviews right here on JTN2. Yep.
Gross.
Thanks.
Stop.
I'm totally going to MIS this weekend. Your boy's gonna buy any car at the haulers that got air freighted in to get those extra views.
Oh my God.
Hey, I'm a businessman, and we're gonna post them on JTN because I'm a businessman.
Mhm.
Damn right.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
I mean, yeah. Bristol's the yeah. Anyways,
All right.
thanks to that light. Indy. Indy was this past
All right.
weekend.
It was.
Best
Indy
ticket in
was.
motorsports. Indy. Indianapolis.
It do be.
Indianapolis. But Tyler Reddick wins again. I have some stuff on here. There's some other stuff I left out, and I want to talk about. But Ross Chastain outsmarts Field? Question mark.
It's just built different, honestly.
I want
Hmm.
I want to hear your guys' opinions, and then I want to tear Matt limb from limb. So
I
Oh my
haven't
god,
gotten
Matthew's
to
not allowed to make a joke tweet, apparently.
the second the race ended. I started driving. We went to dinner, and then I drove home from North Carolina with my buddy Joseph Weaver. I haven't gotten to watch that fun little video from the drivers' meeting. You two discuss. I'm gonna mute and watch this video for the first time, and then I'll have my opinion.
look at that little mute icon down there. That's
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
Oh, there it goes. Anyways, I don't know. Do you want to go? I kind of understood you a little bit, but also I thought it was a great time to try to grow some
Yeah.
engagement. So
My
behind the
my
scenes.
take is like okay, yeah, he cut the track and got the lead. I think 30 seconds is a disproportionate penalty to give him, because on one hand, I don't know if he gained 30 seconds of advantage doing that. Personally, I'd do like 5, maybe 10, because I think F1 has a standard of doing penalties like that.
Mhm.
The way I think it was a fine move to make was the drivers made a very clear message that this is not going to end cleanly. So Ross Chastain was like, I would rather skip the corner and get penalized than, end up with my car junked because I'm on the outside 4 wide of a super narrow 90-degree corner. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
So the video that Davey's talking about was posted. I think Bob posted it. Or it's Bob
I think so,
Pockris.
Little known Twitter user Bob Pockris. You should check him out.
Go check him out. He's really good to follow.
Yeah.
It states in that video that if there's a penalty and you don't have time to serve it, that NASCAR will give you a 30-second penalty. So I think they made it kind of they cut it in stone.
Yeah.
They didn't give themselves wiggle room. Where I find it hard to kind of go along with Ross is trying to keep his car clean is the fact that he didn't even try to make the corner. He slowed down. That's great.
Yeah.
But immediately he slows down for the corner and then speeds right back up. He attacked that runoff area. So, yeah. And Austin Dillon did the same thing. Came back on track and then wrecked himself. So that was funny.
Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know.
Shout out to the guy who responded to my tweet, like, well, Reddick still fathered him. And I'm like, okay, it has literally nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but go off.
I mean, was it smart?
In fact, I was like, that kind of supports what I'm saying, is that it didn't matter, because Reddick still got the lead back like half a lap later. Yeah. So
Ross would have finished second instead of, I think he was running like 5th or 6th. So
yeah, he restarted second and then immediately was outside 4 wide. Yeah, going into the first corner, and it was like, this isn't going to end well. So,
Davey, you're muted. I don't know if you know that.
I thought I unmuted this whole time.
No.
So I watched the video.
Mm-hmm.
That was a genuine shock on my face. I watched the video, listened to the video. I actually watched it twice to make sure I had an understanding of it. It's interesting wording by NASCAR for sure. I wouldn't necessarily say that it lends itself to clarity as far as to what it means. I think there's a lot of inference you have to make when watching that video as to what they mean. It says, about areas of asphalt that are not the shortcuts or whatever.
I love that.
And it says crossing over into those will not be viewed as a violation. They obviously mean crossing over like how they cross over that asphalt at like Watkins Glen outside of turn 1.
Yeah,
You
or
know?
even where they had those sausage curbs on the exit of that kink last season.
Yes.
And then had to take them off because it junked half the Xfinity field.
That is what they mean.
Yeah.
What they didn't think to say was using that as like they just didn't clarify it. And like everyone, like most people know what they mean. Anyone that like can infer and use context clues and has seen a race at a road course in their life knows what they mean there. I think it's interesting the creative thinking on it being legal because of that, but I don't think that it was like he's obviously going to get penalized.
Yeah.
Totally blew the racetrack, didn't follow the course, didn't stay on the racing surface as stated, and on like the slightest technicality, if you ignore the fact that there's a like that they're racing, you might have been able to get away with it. But I think it's I think it should be obvious what the implications were of what was stated in the video. And if NASCAR needs to shore those up, I get it. It makes sense. And they probably will shore those up given the debate.
Yeah. It goes back to there is the whole thing about if NASCAR teams you're forced off the track, they're not going to penalize you. I think that goes back to the finish last year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm not listen. Not going back to that, but that's kind of why that wording's in there, right?
Yeah.
So it.
I think it's also important to emphasize. I don't think Ross intended to have the lead after doing that. I think he was just like, I'm gonna bail out. I'm not even gonna bother to force myself into this mess, and then kind of came out of the kink and was like, oh, well, this probably isn't gonna end well.
Sure, but he definitely intended to be running better than where he was, and you can make that distinction all day. But he intended to get an advantage out of what he was doing. Right? I mean, the advantage is I'm not going down in here and my car getting torn up. That's an advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, all those other drivers...
I guess, yeah, to that extent.
So, you could say he didn't mean to get the lead. I don't care. Like, got an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole discussion is a little bit... they're just kind of playing semantics at that point.
Well, yeah.
It's very, like... Neither here nor there, an advantage was gained, and that's as far as the way NASCAR looks at it. Cookie crumbles either this way or that way with that one. You know,
yeah.
I feel like it's a bit asinine to believe. Obviously, Ross Chastain has to argue, "Oh, it's fine. It should be fine. I don't understand why it'd be a problem." He has to say that.
That interview, man.
He has to say that. He has to say that.
It continues to amaze me that people don't understand that PR speak exists with athletes. People do this all the time. Like, even if you know you're wrong, you're going to say you're right because you're trying to win.
Yeah.
I wish you would remember that when Denny Hamlin does it, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just fun to poke buttons.
Fair enough.
Like NBC poking Ross's buttons.
Yeah.
I mean,
my man is done with NBC.
Dude. They do be doing a number on him. I gotta admit it.
Do you blame him though? Like, I don't blame him. They're like,
dude,
acting like
he's the story of the season.
Terrible race car driver when he's not. He's just a little aggressive sometimes. But they act like he's like the worst thing ever. Well, you know.
I know. I'm just playing.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I don't like the way that they kind of tried to. I don't like that Dave Burns question. I usually don't like Dave Burns' follow-up questions, I've noticed.
Yeah.
You know, go back to Austin Cindric last year in the Xfinity Championship race. And
that was so awkward. Oh my God. We talk about that like almost every week, and it's just like, every time I think about it, I'm still...
And I don't know if that's someone in his ear or that's his line of questioning, which is fine. Obviously, he knows a lot more about what he's doing than I do, so I'm not gonna question the validity of the questions, but I am gonna ask if we need to continue to do it when it's very obvious that Ross isn't actually gonna give you an answer. Like, no, Dave, that's not what we did. Like, what do you think he's gonna admit to the team, like, colluding to cheat at the end of a race? Like, brother, what?
What was the name of the evil guy on Wacky Racers back in the day? Oh my god. Like, that's Ross Chastain in his car. Hang on, I gotta look this up now. Is it Dick Dastardly, I think is his name? And he's like, if I skip the first corner, I'll have an advantage and I'll win.
I don't know. I'm not old.
Oh my god. Dude, Wacky Racers is some good TV.
This is good television.
But I think we alluded to it. There'll be changes there with the rules. Turn 1 was just dumb all day. Everyone has ridiculed Joey Logano's 7, 8, 10 wide move down into the corner.
Oh my god.
The whole lack of respect thing, which was the same argument, hey, we had last year after this race. Crazy how that works.
Yeah.
Came up again. I don't know. It's at this point, it's everywhere. We'll talk about trucks in a bit, but
yeah.
I don't even view it as a lack of respect. I just view it as drivers have it. This is your opportunity. We saw it was hard to pass all day.
Yeah, it doesn't
excuse it, but
that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
It explains it, I think. You know what I mean? It doesn't excuse it, but it explains it.
Unfortunately, it
No.
shouldn't.
Right. I'm not saying it excuses it.
No, of course.
Oh.
I know that. We'll get to it when it comes to the trucks, because that's kind of where it all will come to a head as far as us discussing it goes. But
Carson,
I have a serious bone to pick with much of racing's drivers this weekend.
Yeah.
So you had turn 1 was just stupid all day. Tyler Reddick, Richard Childress had some weird comments after the race. Which shout out Richard Childress again. Tyler Reddick is very obviously your best chance to win races, but go off, King. I guess I don't know.
They've still got another year together. Remember that.
Did you hear he hadn't talked to Tyler since Road America or something, or since that announcement? He hadn't talked to Tyler. Like, can you imagine not talking to your boss for 3 weeks? Right? It's been 3 weeks.
It's been longer than that, I think. Let me look real quick.
I think it's been 3 weeks. I got it announced my first week of my internship, and I've been there for 3 weeks. This is my 4th week, so.
Road America was a month ago. 4 races ago.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. There's an absolute nothing burger IndyCar team owner that I will not name, but some of you might know who I'm talking about. Last name rhymes with Spandretti. Who I don't even think...
That's not the IndyCar owner I thought you were talking about.
Oh, well, this one in particular, I think he's terrible. He just does not know how to
manage drivers.
Obviously, they know how to run a race team. They've been running a race team, but they don't know how to manage that race team, manage the drivers, as Joe said. The whole debacle with the Andretti drivers at Mid-Ohio was embarrassing, and Michael Andretti is useless. And Richard Childress right now, looking pretty useless, looking pretty silly. I don't know why you wouldn't talk to your driver that's winning your races. I get the announcement was terribly timed, but this is sport. This is sports.
And we've heard, there, and we know people. I haven't heard anything from said people, but we've heard.
Probably can't, because they're very low on the totem pole.
Well,
of the team, unfortunately,
doesn't mean rumors travel, right?
Yeah,
they do.
But I've heard the whole, RCR has the antiquated sponsorship model. I'm sure they lowballed Reddick compared to any other team's offer. I wouldn't be surprised if the teams get swapped in the off season, honestly.
Mm-hmm. There was even talk amongst, and I heard this on DBC, but talk amongst inner circles that there's a lot of confusion as to why RCR announced only the year option instead of waiting and just getting them locked in long term, which it seemed apparently that Tyler Reddick was willing to do.
Yep.
But
from the start of the year,
that option, and he's only on contract for 1 more year.
And that's the thing is, it's I understand Richard Childress feels kind of blindsided, but at the same time, you only signed him to a 1-year extension, so it's
where's the faith?
What did you think was going to happen? If you have so much faith in this kid, give him the money, sign him.
Mm-hmm. You made an awesome move. Granted, dude just won an Xfinity title when you signed him, but you made an awesome move signing him.
Yeah,
getting him in your organization, getting him on your team. He wins another title for you in Xfinity. Mm-hmm. You decide to scrap the Daniel Hemrick experiment. and you bring up Tyler, right? That's what happens. And it can be frustrating, right? On one hand, because, hey, I gave this kid this opportunity. He's excelled in this opportunity. And at the end of the day, I'm the one that gave, right? There's egos involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, RC like put a bunch of chips on Tyler Reddick and he's about to fold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, Tyler Reddick is one of those drivers you should be able to build a team around, right? There's that whole discussion with Kyle Busch. We had it last week. We're not going to do it this week. You can build a team around a Kyle Busch. You can build a team around a Kyle Larson. You can build a team around a Chase Elliott. These upper tier drivers, you can build an entire team around.
Yeah.
And to let that driver go when he is getting ready to finally pay off all of that faith, dumbest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that, whoever they end up getting for the 8 car is going to be bad, or, if this car keeps winning, it only makes RCR look better too, right? It's going to make them look better. Although the question is always going to be how much of that is the car and how much is Tyler Reddick. Like to think that this past weekend says a lot about the car with how fast and dominant they were.
Oh yeah.
But
I think we can also use this as like a perfect example to kind of segue into the fact that Austin Hill's running a 3rd car this weekend, and it's like, hey, okay, so you lost Harvick, and now you're losing Reddick. You got 2 really talented dudes in Xfinity. Don't screw it up with them, because Austin Dillon's not going anywhere. That car's set. Okay, don't if you've learned your lesson. Don't let this be the 3rd time you screw it up.
Yeah.
So.
And
It's frustrating.
a shame, right? Austin Hill would be Cup ready. I'd consider him Cup ready next year.
Maybe he's been around trucks for a hot minute, so yeah.
And he hasn't had the most. I don't think he's had the most spectacular of Xfinity seasons, but
he's just like racking up top 10s every week.
He's got for sure.
I mean, it's RCR, right? It's not like not like they're the world beaters that they once were. So it's just it's all about kind of looking at perspective. It's disappointing to see Richard Childress so angry about it. You hate to see people kind of doing that to themselves, and I rightfully so. I'm sure like upset about it, but you can't let that get in the way of trying to win races, win championships. For you, your team, your guys, your sponsors. Sucks, sure. One thing that didn't suck: rookies in the top 5, all 3.
Yeah,
congrats.
That was cool.
Obviously, Cindric's won a race this year, right? Won the biggest race of the year. But Harrison Burton gets a 3rd place finish. Todd Gilliland finishes 4th. Shout out Todd Gilliland for winning me $15. Appreciate you, buddy. That was a long shot, and it paid off, and I'm so happy.
He was quick all weekend, too. I'm surprised.
Harrison was, too.
Todd Gilliland has turned into a very good road course racer.
Harrison Burton has, albeit with a little bit of good fortune in the past few weeks, he's turned it up.
Yeah.
Ever since that Atlanta race, he's been running better. It makes you wonder if he might just be cut out for this ride after all. He's got a lot of work to do. He's a rookie.
And Ford has been down this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What they have,
and not to mention Penske has also been off. Yeah.
4 wins. Sorry, 4 wins.
So.
But Ryan Blaney still has 1.
Yeah. Also, Bubba top 5.
Very
top 5 unexpected on a road course.
Yep.
McDowell gets another top 10. It's a double front row top 10, which is pretty cool.
Wallace is probably celebrating that top 5 like a win.
Yeah.
Why is he doing that? Maybe he should be a race car driver.
He missed the top 4 this weekend.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Totally washed.
My man's an idiot. AJ Allmendinger battles back from the suit, being surrounding him with boiling water for 3 hours. Congrats.
Oh, also got Chris Buescher's car was literally on fire at one point, and he got a top 10.
That was pretty cool.
Shout out to NASCAR's rules making it so he couldn't get out of that car, even though it was still fine, because otherwise he would have been parked for the day.
It's a good point, but shout out. Yep, you're right. Change the rules, NASCAR. Let him get out of the car if it's on fire. Yeah. They should be able to get out of the car no matter what if it's on fire. Be able to get back in the car after it's not on fire anymore. AJ Allmendinger, though, won the Xfinity race Saturday. Very emotional, which was awesome. AJ's, I think that's a guy that obviously understands how important Indianapolis is. IMS. Not too crazy of a race. Parker Kligerman loses his brakes down into what was that 7?
Jeez, yeah.
That was a hit.
Sad.
But anyway,
Alpha Prime cannot catch a break.
Yep.
And they were angry after the race too.
Yeah, shout out to Miguel Paludo for just flat out lying about something. Did you see that whole deal?
Did he actually lie, or is Alpha Prime saying he lied?
Well, Tommy Joe Martins came on and explained the whole thing, and multiple people I know who work for the team was like, yeah, this didn't happen. Like, even before Tommy Joe got onto Twitter. So, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I got insiders all over the place. I'm going to have to quiz them.
So, that was weird. Who knows where the truth lies, somewhere in the middle, but it was just like a weird run-in. And Tommy Joe mentioning, he's like, yeah, we keep running into JRM guys for some reason.
Did Sage Karam end up wrecking the car again?
I think he finished. He finished well.
Yeah, I think he got like a 13th, didn't he? 12th or 13th. Like he tied their best ever finish or something.
Something like that. Let me check.
That I recall.
Josh Berry had it out for Monster Energy guys.
That was fun.
Go Josh Berry.
Kyle Busch to the Junior Motorsports Cup Series team.
Yep.
Confirmed.
Yep. Pencil it in.
In.
Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick's outright saying, "Oh yeah, I'd love to have Kyle Busch as a teammate." So
the silly season is getting pretty wacky, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. Oh wait, Sage Karam wasn't even in the car this week.
He was
driving the other one. He's not listed. Hang on, let me figure this out.
There's no way Sage Karam, the IndyCar driver, was not racing at Indianapolis.
That's what I'm wondering. Hang on. Xfinity Series results. Oh my god, it's listing all the races individually. Pocono, New Hampshire.
I don't know why we're being quiet about this, but
I don't know.
Remember, you can check out the JTN merch store. Buy yourself some Fake Racers podcast merch. That'd be awesome.
Yep, he did finish 13th. His Wikipedia page is not updated yet.
My brain's better than your brain.
Yep.
But yeah, Xfinity race was good on the road course. It was a good race. Wasn't crazy.
Not a lot happened.
Yeah,
Sage Karam finished 13th though.
Which is good.
Did he really?
It's good that not a lot happened.
Yeah.
It's good. That's a good thing. Good job, Xfinity Series.
The trucks were at IRP though.
No, we actually got IndyCar. We're going backwards.
Oh my god.
IndyCar. Alexander Rossi wins.
Hey,
I was pretty happy about that. If you're looking for a guy that said Alexander Rossi was washed right before he started tearing it up in IndyCar, I know a guy.
For anyone that doesn't know who that is, it's Noah Joyce.
Correct. Really good rookie showing for young Lundgaard. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I was very surprised. I was like, oh, there he is. Look at that. He's staying there. Whoa. And then he finished there. I was like, wow.
Yeah, like we were saying, Rossi got his McLaren deal and then was like, oh my god, there's something outside of Andretti, and then like started trying again.
This hellhole isn't all that's left.
Yeah.
Well, and there's 4 or 5 races left after this one. I think you got Nashville, Gateway, Portland, and then Gudaseka.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever the championship is. I don't know. Pretty sure it's Laguna, but
one of them.
This kind of bookends his time with Andretti. Obviously, won the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500. This will probably be his last win with Andretti. I'd have to think. Doesn't mean I'm not saying he can't win in the next 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the probabilities, right, probably.
Yeah.
So it bookends it, and I think that was they had a good relationship in terms of after he announced that. I don't think you saw anything bad going on. You know what I mean? I don't get the sense that there's a lot of hard feelings there.
Yeah, because it's been a mixture of like Rossi hasn't been his best, and when he is running well, something stupid always happens. It seems like. So
yeah, I think he really does just want to get away from that team. Yeah, he just
change
wants
of
to be
scenery,
done with
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wants to be
Yep.
done with it.
Be a good
Move
thing.
on.
Dale Jr. was on commentary for a bit, and then he left, which I thought he was supposed to be on commentary for the whole race. I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was really weird. I could tell he was not comfortable in the booth, so I wonder if that was part of it. Because then Hinch did the rest of the broadcast, and then Hinch did the whole Xfinity broadcast.
I was about to say Hinch was on the Xfinity broadcast. We didn't talk about it, but I thought he was. I mean, it's obvious. I thought he was delightful.
Yeah,
He's really good at that.
he'll be good at
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
You can put him on anything.
I genuinely think Hinchcliffe is a guy that, as long as he wants to be around, he will be around.
He's
He's
got
that good.
enough charisma.
He's that good at it. Yes.
Yeah.
Colton Herta has things go wrong for the billionth time. Again, Andretti problems.
I was about to say, all comes back to Andretti.
Spilling all the spaghetti out of their pockets again.
Hire me. Not because I'll help you fix your problems, but because I want a job. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that's my application.
Right. Joe Tawinski just shilled out again. Moving on.
Trucks. Grant Enfinger wins at
Oh,
IRP.
this is going to be a doozy.
Oh,
this one.
baby.
This is a doozy.
A
this
very
one.
good race until the end.
It was. I thought it was quite a good race.
Yeah.
IRP
IRP had a great crowd. It's a great little track, and
Then
I'm
we-
very happy it's back.
And then at
made
the
a good
end,
case for
yeah.
coming back. Real quick, I just want to say, made a great
Yes.
case for coming back,
should
and I
be
hope
back.
they do. They should.
It will. I feel like it will.
And they should bring Xfinity with it.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a proposal, and I'll tell you the proposal. That's our next topic.
Nah.
Races.
Come on!
The finishes to races like this kind of make me not want the Truck Series to do more short tracks like this, just because these drivers are so like trained to just go full stupid in the last 10 laps. And that's my only worry for doing, IRP or, the North Wilkesboro thing or, going to tracks. I know Mansfield doesn't exist anymore, but tracks like that, right? These smaller tracks that are around South Boston, good one to point to.
Yeah.
That's what worries me because the racing's excellent, but then if you get a late race caution, everyone wants to just go stupid. Of stupid, speaking of, Carson Hocevar decided to, ruin every piece of good faith that I had in him. I don't know about you, Matthew. I know Davey just kind of hasn't liked Carson for a while. His racing, at least.
I like the kid a lot, and I thought that was out of character.
I don't care if it's out of character.
But
you can't do that. You just can't do
I know.
that.
And I'm not excusing.
I know
it.
you're not.
I think it's also important though that if you like something, you should definitely hold it to a higher standard. And so, like, I'm not afraid to criticize the people I like.
Cleveland Browns.
I don't like them anymore though.
Yeah, but you still hold them to a higher standard.
Yeah.
Go on.
That's why they disappointed me so much. But yeah, it's a thing where it's like you should know better than that. There's no excuse for right rearing somebody down a straightaway. I mean, yeah, he did move you out of the way very aggressively, but that is not at all an appropriate response to that. So
I've been souring on the kid for a while. Even after the Ryan Priest thing, I still really liked Carson Hocevar. It just feels like since then he's done nothing but just, for lack of a better term, be really weird.
He has just been off as of late. I don't get it.
Done nothing but be totally weird, just done dumb things, and it came to a head. And I don't know. I'm over it. Honestly, I'm over it. We saw him get mad, and that's how he handles it in the heat of the moment. Can't keep his cool. I don't know. I know he's young. I get it.
Yeah.
And I've heard that excuse about him about 14 million times. I get he's young. There's still no excuse.
Yeah.
You still can't right rear somebody. You still shouldn't do it.
Saying in driver's young
I don't
is...
know.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I get really frustrated seeing all the like a lot of drivers get a lot of hate, like vicious, like spitting hate sent towards them for right rearing somebody, and I everyone's like, "Oh, Carson, why would you do that?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Looking at him like he's a 4-year-old, right?
No,
I saw
Carson.
a lot of vitriol from people in the garage, and then the fan response was like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, dude, like I'm more understated. Like I don't want to swear right now, but I was
Put his
pissed
feet
about
to the
that.
fire.
Yeah.
No, and Matt, I see what I see what you mean about that. Like you care, and you would want
Yeah.
he should be held accountable
Yeah.
for his actions.
This isn't
Right
Bowman
rearing somebody by right is an ass kicking.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. But
Because it's Colby Howard, right?
otherwise, he needs to be held accountable in other ways. But anyway, go ahead, Joe, I'm sorry.
The excuse of being young is only an excuse when you make a mistake. Right rearing someone is never a mistake.
Yeah, that should be like ingrained in your head from day one that you don't do that.
Doing anything to take another opponent out of it, or another driver out of a race, I guess they're opponents, is never a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can tell intent. I mean, man's wearing probably. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I saw him turn that wheel to the left. Right? It's not like, oh, he made a mistake. He turned into the corner too early.
Yeah, he was on the start finish line when he hooked him.
Yeah.
So,
so Carson's got a lot of pressure on him. A lot of it's self-inflicted. I think that's what happens when you build a fan base without winning a lot. Disappointed. I was angry.
Yeah.
Kind of lost some respect for the guy because I don't do that.
Yeah, I just didn't even chime in when it happened because I was like, I'm gonna seem like I'm making excuses for him, but I'm just frustrated as hell.
I lost I lost some of the respect I had. I remember back in 2014 when Keselowski did his whole thing at Charlotte. Lost a lot of respect that night for the guy and his racing. Took a while to gain it back.
Yeah.
Still like him, still cheer for him, still root for him, but.
And you said something important there. It took a lot for you to gain it back, and it's not like anything Carson Hocevar did was irredeemable, but he is going to have to do a lot of work, at least from me and a lot of other fans, to regain the good faith that he earned by being a generally likable character up until like a couple months ago.
Yeah. It's not like this isn't a trend, right? Like, he doesn't have a history of doing this to people, so you hope that it's just a one-time, got a little too heated under the collar.
Yeah.
Are we good to continue?
Let's do it.
Someone who is kind of trending in this direction. John Hunter Nemechek does a stupid. Absolutely takes out Taylor Gray. I know he said that he went too deep into the corner. I don't know what you want to. You can go for it, Davey.
No, you got it. You continue what you're saying. I kind of have like a more all-encompassing sort of end thought here.
I think Taylor got into him a little bit on the restart. I don't know how intentional it was. Looked like a lot of wheel spin because everyone was on cycled tires.
Yeah.
But John Hunter just goes down into the corner. I mean, he takes him out. Again, takes him out. I don't think you take someone out a third of the way into the corner without meaning to do it. If you miss your brakes.
At the very least, you didn't care about if you hit him or not.
Exactly. Yeah. Which you can, again, it's the end of the race. Shut up. I don't know. It's for a guy that cried so much after getting roughed up by a teammate at Richmond. It was it was disappointing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of is interesting you bring that up because it's funny when I look at these drivers who have really aggressive tendencies. There are a few results here withstanding, Ty Gibbs being one of them. A lot of these guys who, despite being obviously talented, obviously probably ready for Cup or ready for the next step, I love watching these drivers like John Hunter Nemechek, for example, be aggressive, also be talented, but be aggressive, get caught up in these dust-ups, be known for being that aggressive guy who does the kind of things that we talk about in the Truck Series that we hate seeing. He does it more often than not. John Hunter Nemechek is going to find himself in some trouble. I love watching them and knowing that like thinking through all the situations and knowing that they're no closer to a cup ride than a new driver starting out in the Cup Series, basically, or a new driver starting out in the Truck Series, basically. Because I mean, just
what distinguishes him from the rest of that field right now?
Yeah,
nothing. Exactly. Because at least you have Ty Gibbs, who goes out and wins a bunch of crap and is still so young that you can actually kind of almost make that excuse right now, and it almost makes sense because he's literally a child.
yeah.
like the dude is like he's 18, I think, still, right? Like he's 18.
He might be 19 now, but
regardless, he's not even 20.
Yeah, he's.
And then you look at John Herminchek, who's been in the sport for a while, has run cup races, ran well in them. He ran well in cup races.
Ran well enough.
And
he had a couple good runs.
And who is tabbed to drive the 45 while Kurt Busch is out? Not John Herminchek.
Yep.
It's like the proof is in the pudding. It's right there in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, and he got a lot of heat for the move at the time, and then he won all those races last year, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, no, it makes sense. Didn't win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know, I got to win a race to win the championship, but again, you're there to win races, and winning races wins you championships now. So
it's just interesting that I see a lot of these hyper aggressive guys. They're the ones who aren't really getting that close. It's like it's working itself out. I don't know if it's meant to be working itself out that way, but I mean, even you look at Noah Gragson, and
he's kind of been stuck there. Yeah,
he's been stuck there. Same thing, it's just interesting.
It's an interesting note too that a lot of these hyper aggressive guys, again, they're the first to get really angry when someone races them as they race other people. And I look at a guy like Ross Chastain, races people super duper aggressively. But then, interview after the Hamlin thing last week. Yeah, I had that coming to me. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't get angry about it.
He was one of the people who were withstanding from what I was saying.
I know.
It's a little different, yeah.
But I just want to make that distinction because there is only so much of pot calling kettle black that you can really take, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make you don't come out looking good. He said something about like, oh, tonight we were the, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield, and then tonight we were the bug. And I know he was talking about the final restart, which, Zane Smith used him up. But, man, you were like the windshield on the first car that hit the first bug, and then you got rear-ended. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, completely focused on his own fault, which, whatever, everyone likes to focus on themselves, but it's just, it makes me sad because he could have had a cup career, and he decided that, no, I don't want to try to pursue this. I don't want to pursue being in a more underfunded car. We don't know what options were out there for him. No one except John Hunter Nemechek and probably his family knows. But, like you said, it kind of is like he relegated himself back to trucks, and now it's kind of turning out that, hey, look, now you're behind Ty Gibbs.
He's not driving like a driver perspective of a cup ride, which I think John Hermanchek could be, should drive in trucks. We give Matt DiBenedetto a lot of crap for running like damn near 12th every week, but he's not out there junking trucks most of the time.
Yeah,
he's in a pile of crap and he's running decent. Is that going to get him a cup ride? No, because he's in a pile of crap. But at the end of the day, he's running like a driver who is at the very least mature behind the wheel and isn't going to put himself in a situation where he's going to junk his stuff. And John Hermanchek is just I can't say any names right now. John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek. He, he's just piddling away, just piddling his career away in the Truck Series right now. And where's he going to be next year? Maybe he'll be in Xfinity. Dude,
maybe he'll be in a mid-tier Xfinity team.
He could have had so much more.
This reminds me. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the worst part is like dude's done pretty good in that Sam Hunt racing car, and he's done good in the opportunities he's gotten at Gibbs. So
he absolutely has the talent to make it. And it reminds me of what I was talking about earlier, how this kind of parlays into how this week was Brett Moffitt's last race with Auer, which means we were only slightly off on that prediction. But like not for stuff he does on track, but Brett Moffitt's a perfect example of somebody who absolutely has the talent to make it to Cup, but burns every single bridge he can get by having a terrible attitude, So,
and
like,
part of that attitude's
wise up.
a circumstance of his surroundings, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing where he was basically dragging Trackhouse through the mud before they even ran a race.
God, get over. I see that anytime something happens to Brett Moffitt. Oh, he said Daniel Suarez had no chance to win a race, and look, Daniel Suarez won. Shut up.
Okay, if you're Trackhouse, would you hire him after that?
Yeah, and I'm Trackhouse, and I have 2 cars. There's 34 other charters out there. What's your point?
I'm just saying, if you're a Chevy driver trying to make it to Cup and there's a new Chevy team starting up, maybe don't drag him through the mud before they even run a race and burn that bridge before it's even happened. So
obviously he wasn't going to get a ride there. Like,
we don't know that.
See, you say that, and I know what you're getting at, but we do know that, don't we?
No, we don't, because it didn't happen. We don't know if that was going to happen or not. Trackhouse were to expand to another car, you don't think they would have looked through a Chevy driver pool?
Yeah, and you think Brett Moffitt's at the top of that pool?
Could be, if he was better with the sponsors.
No, and that's exactly it. You just answered my question with, could be, if he was better with his sponsors. Exactly.
That's literally my point, Joe.
I don't know what your point is. He bridges with teams. Oh, yeah, circular arguments. Thank you, Davey.
We're literally arguing the same thing, and you're like disagreeing with me about it.
No, I'm disagreeing with the fact that everyone has to bring up that stupid Trackhouse tweet. Get over it.
Because it was stupid. It's not good business. I'm just saying.
I know what Davey just took a picture of. Hope it was himself.
Me.
Good.
Of all the things I've said, apparently that's the most egregious thing today. Okay.
No, the most egregious thing was you falling asleep.
Yeah, true. So.
Damn, I go for those pot shots way too much, don't I? Sorry.
No, it's low-hanging fruit.
Just like the Trackhouse tweet. Anyways, Grant Enfinger wins. So congrats to Grant Enfinger.
Oh my gosh, you guys, oh my god, please kiss. I'm just over it. Matt's not kissing.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? Do we have to have a moment?
Okay. I'm ready to move on. I don't know why
I want you to kiss him.
We're not.
I don't want to kiss Joe.
It's fine. No one else wants to either.
I'm also not into dudes. So
thoughts on returning to the IndyCar or to the IndyCar oval?
Don't do it. Just do the road course.
I'm tempted to agree because I feel like there's some serious revisionist history of people missing the oval. Because I remember for like the last decade, people hated the oval and wanted to go to the road course. So
yeah, people were saying, it's not special to win Indy, and then we go from the oval to the road course. It's like, it used to be special.
We ran one race at Auto Club, and people were like, this package would be awesome here. And it was like, no, because the cars still sucked here when they were good at Auto Club 15 years ago. So
the cars weren't good at Auto Club 15 years ago. What? That's revisionist history. Auto Club sucked until like 2010, 2011.
Yeah, true.
Anyways.
Regardless, don't go to the oval. Keep running the road course. I don't see what the big deal is. We have a really cool opportunity to grow something really fun with IndyCar on this weekend.
So, it's my idea. Ready for my idea? Hey, guess what? Cup Series. Now we have this stupid, hour and a half, 2 hour long practice qualifying session thing. We can do that Sunday morning. 2020, we switched over from the road course to the oval between Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Just do it. If you want to run Cup Series on the oval, you can still run Cup Series on the oval and keep IndyCar and keep Xfinity on the road course. You can do it. You've done it. Granted, you didn't have any fans. I don't know what logistically that really entails. I don't think it entails too much. Because you'd still be able to keep fans safe in the areas on the road course compared to the oval, and you just wouldn't open up some of those road course areas like you normally would if it was like Indy 500 weekend. I like the idea of alternating here because it spices things up. stagnant schedule is not a good schedule. So, I mean, that's just something to consider. I get what a lot of drivers are saying of it's not as special, but you're still winning at Indy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's my question.
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
All I heard for years was how it's not even special to win an Indy and a stock car. It's just a Brickyard. I'm not saying yes or no there. I'm just saying I heard a lot of this discourse, and why does it have to be like why does that why does it matter? Who cares? Who cares? Truly, who cares? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
Quick. Anyone? No one. Doesn't have to be special.
But the
a
drivers
win can be special on its own. Who cares?
But the drivers, if the drivers don't think it's special, they're not going to race hard, and it's not going to make me
happy.
happy.
Well, when we go and then 20 people show up to Indianapolis at the Oval just like they used to every fucking year before that, then what are we going to do now? Yeah, write it down. I don't care. It's pissing me off.
I'm just like
10 people showed up to the Brickyard 400. Who cares? Not special. Well, it's like racing a damn club race at freaking Yulee, Florida Raceway Park. Like no one cares. Same amount of people were there.
It reminds me a lot of F1 at Monaco, where it's objectively a terrible race every year, but everybody's like, tradition, we can't change anything. And I'm like, I'd be 100% open to modifying Monaco to make it
But at least
raceable.
Monaco, like the tradition isn't even there for the Brickyard. It's been here since 1994. Who cares? People show up to Monaco. Monaco has a certain level of prestige for a lot of other reasons. Stock cars at Indianapolis just don't. No one cares. There's a select few drivers who care. I would like to note that those drivers who care have a few wins at the Brickyard on the Oval. Yeah. Weird how that works.
Convenient.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's just like I don't care about prestige if the race is unwatchable.
I feel like there are a lot of I agree with you. And the race could be good. Who knows? But the arguments that I'm hearing for going back to the Oval after he made this change are ridiculous. None of them make any sense.
Just imagine if 2008 doesn't happen.
You never know.
Yeah.
Or just change everything, wouldn't it, Matthew?
Could be a total discussion.
Just saying, fan turnout would be better.
I don't know what's going on. There's a lot going on. Joe winked at the camera, and I feel a little confused.
Oh my God.
F1 was in Hungary. Hungarian Grand Prix. Verstappen wins.
I was trying not to wake up my hungover friends.
I don't know if you guys watched it. I didn't really care.
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, it was before I woke up.
Ferrari. If I had to say Ferrari did Ferrari thing, if I had to say Ferrari did Ferrari things one more time on this damn podcast, I'm gonna lose my mind. Whatever. Like, can we just make that? Can we make like a Fake versus podcast, like Google Docs template, and in the F1 section, it's Ferrari did Ferrari things that we don't have to type it out every damn time, or Joe doesn't have to type it out every damn time, saving a little bit of time, because it happens every week anyway. Charles Leclerc looks so sad after this loss. He looks sad after every loss because he loses every damn weekend.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ferrari sucks. Verstappen did a 360 and won the race, dude.
Yeah, from 10th on the grid. At the most difficult to pass track on outside of Monaco.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, good job, Ferrari. They have the fastest car on the grid, maybe, and Leclerc has less podiums than Lewis Hamilton, who's basically driving around in like a tumbler. So,
man's gonna have no spine. Speaking of tough to pass, IndyCar is at Nashville this weekend.
Hey-o.
Second Nashville GP, or GP of Nashville, whatever way they do it.
Joseph Newgarden gets it done at home.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool.
I'm gonna take Marcus Ericsson because Husky Chocolate.
Husky Chocolate's mine, old man. I'm gonna take.
You can have him.
No, I don't want him. Who do I want here? I'm feeling stupid. Give me Herta. I'm ready to be hurt again.
I mean, he probably should.
Hurt again. That is a good. Okay, so when something inevitably happens to Colton Herta this season because he drives for Andretti and nothing good ever happens to them because Michael Andretti is terrible, the hurt again tweet.
I'm ready to be hurt again. Oh my God.
I'm just gonna put that on a t-shirt, actually. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's monetize this idea and yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Colton probably should have, would have won this race last year, right?
Yep.
But then again, Marcus Ericsson won after being like in the air, so
After growing up dog.
He went up dog.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Xfinity and Cup head to Michigan. It's gonna be a fun weekend for me.
I'm excited.
Saturday is literally on track from like 9 a.m. till like 9:30 p.m. because ARCA's there too, but we don't pick ARCA because why would we do that? And I'm not gonna stay for the whole ARCA race because no.
Yeah.
I like race cars, but I also like my life. Xfinity picks. H. Allmendinger won this race last year.
Yes, he did.
I'm gonna take Josh Berry though, because Josh Berry should have won this race last year.
Damn it!
Suck
I was
it.
gonna take him.
Sam Mayer.
Oh, thank God, that was my second pick.
All right, take Justin Allgaier.
Yes,
There you go.
give me
snooze,
Allgaier.
you lose. Yes,
Matthew, you can pick first. Cup Series. We have no idea what this race is going to look like because we have been told Atlanta and we have been told California, and those are very different.
Yep.
So Kansas.
He needs a good run, and he was good at both of them. So give me William Byron.
Davey.
I'm spitballing here.
I'm gonna go a little crazy.
Oh.
Harrison Burton.
Damn, that would be pretty crazy.
Just running right up to the beehive that is the playoff picture and just kicking it.
Harrison Burton makes the playoffs. Ryan Blaney misses it. They move Blaney over to the 21 to fight for the owner's title.
Oh my God.
Move Harrison to the 12 for the driver's title.
Absurd.
I'm gonna go with Eric Jones. Because
that's good. I was thinking about him too.
Because he's really quick at California, and obviously he's good at restrictor plate racing. So, and you know he just signed that new contract, so a lot of motivation
coming off that high.
Granted, he only finished 15th this past weekend, but he started 35th. So, good weekend. Yeah. Good job. But that's all I got. That's all I got. I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend.
Yeah.
Excited to be back at the racetrack. So I only get to do it once a year now.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
I'm excited for me.
Gonna look for some sick merch. Probably won't find any, and will inevitably buy too many 164 diecasts that I really shouldn't pay $10 for. But
that's the spirit. Oh yeah.
Here we are. Anyways, folks, that was this week's edition of the Fake Racers podcast. As always, we cannot thank you enough for watching, listening. However you decide to consume this podcast, we appreciate it. Whether it be on your preferential podcast platform, your PPP, or right here on youtube.com/JTN2, although I don't think that's actually what our / is, but
you can find it.
You can find it, JTN2.
It's there somewhere.
Again, follow @FakeRacers on Twitter, where Davey will hopefully post when episodes go live.
Sorry, I'm depressed sometimes.
It's okay. We're going to be a team. Matthew's going to help you, right, Matt?
Yeah, no, it's okay. Matthew doesn't need to help me. It's fine.
Okay.
Matthew, we listen. We are. I think it's overlooked how
we are the world.
Exhausted we are with life, all of us. Not in like a terribly dangerous way, just in like we need like a month off.
Yeah.
From a lot of things.
Physically exhausted.
No,
not from the podcast, just from work.
You know, any responsibility whatsoever. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Felt.
That's what that is. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. I'll be getting on that Twitter post. You know it. I just a lot going on the last few weeks. I was getting ready to travel. So
yep.
What can you do?
What are you gonna do?
You know I love you guys, and I'll make sure to get that tweet out. But when Joe, check this out. When Joe, hey, this is a little thing between you and I. When Joe asks if I want to say my social media handles, I'm gonna say no again. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Davey, do you want to shout out your social media handles? All right.
Nah.
So you could have thrown him a curveball and said, "Do you want a knot?" And then he would have said no, and then he would have had to do it like instinctively.
Nah, Davey's too smart for that.
Oh.
Huh?
See, guys, I'm stroking his ego just a little bit right there. Just
What?
Anyways, Matt, anything?
This sucks.
My at msteelman51 on Twitter. You can see more
Shenanigans. Sheldon Creek
not
Thursdays.
hot take. Yeah,
Everyone
I
go
found the
argue
video
with
on my
him.
phone again. I could post it.
Everyone go argue with Matt. Matt likes it when we argue.
Please don't. I will block you.
That's crazy.
As always, folks, you can follow us at Johto Network on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all those things. I'm trying to post more clips and stuff, but life again gets in the way. So can't thank you enough for slogging through these podcasts with us. As always, click the like button, subscribe, do all those things. We appreciate them so much. They give us a little bit extra motivation to get this show done every week, and that's what really motivates this is you guys watching. So, as always, thank you. Engage with us in the chat, comments, Twitter, again, our social medias and stuff. We'd like to see the engagement. We'd appreciate the engagement. Even if you just say that we're dumb and we're an idiot. And if you listen this long and you say that, you get a gold star.
Yeah,
so,
you're on the podcast now.
I'll start putting. You know what we got to do? We got to have like a little 5-minute segment where we take the comment of the week from the past week, and that's how.
I'm down with that.
All right, you heard it. Matthew's gonna work on comment of the week stuff because he's down with it. So
oh god,
there you go. So tweet at Johto Network at Fake Racer. Actually, tweet at Fake Racers, and comment on the YouTube video. That's how you can be comment of the week.
I'm the comment of the week. I'm gonna comment on all the comments.
And if you're the only comment for the week, congratulations, you win by default, and we have to show what you say. So please don't make it lewd. All right.
Okay. See you next time. We're done. Just kidding, Joe. Close out the show. I'm just playing.
Bye, guys.
See ya.